A couple of notes before we talk about the move to Vermont. First of all, thank you everyone for your feedback so far. I want to make this process as simple as possible, which is one of the reasons that you see my house exactly as it is. I don't have a fancy set and I'm not made up. This is just me, pure, raw me. In part because that's more authentic, but also, to be perfectly honest, because it's easier, which means I'll keep doing it. Also, if anyone has questions they want to submit, please feel free to do so at the email link. Boy, it just got dark, didn't it? Let's try that again. There we go, at the email link on the site. I will be happy to entertain and answer nearly any and all questions, and I will do so in videos as they come up. Okay, so sometime around 1964, my father decided to take a conversational Russian class in Putney, Vermont. It was being given at Windham College by Madame Poltoratsky. And after having been in Putney, my father apparently decided that was a much better place for us to live, and so he moved us there just before I started third grade. Now, as a born and bred city girl who at 6, 7, 8 years of age was running around New York City herself and who knew the city pretty much like the palm of her hand or the back of her hand, I have to tell you, I hated Vermont. I hated living in Putney. I hated not being in the city. And I'm starting to hate this light sensor. Anyways, so for about a year, I was miserable. I wanted to go back to New York City so badly. But after about a year, something happened. I don't know what it was, but suddenly I got it. And I was never a city girl again. I turned into a country girl. I am still a New England girl at heart, and I detested the city. And I have ever since really loathed big cities, and I would never ever live in one again. In any event, as I mentioned in a previous video, regardless of our financial situation, when it came to providing for me, my father always wanted me to have the best of everything. And so he enrolled me at the Putney Grammar School, which is a very good private school. And in some ways, at least then, was considered a feeder school for the Putney School, which is a private high school of some note. I desperately wanted to go to public school. I wanted to be like everyone else instead of being at this exclusive private school. But what do kids know? I didn't understand. And of course, now I'm very grateful, not only for the opportunity of going to the grammar school, but for friends that I still have from back then. Shout out to you, Rachel. In any event, after about 3 years with my father working from home, I should say that we started out living in a decrepit apartment right behind the paper mill in Putney. It was really probably not the nicest of places. Again, being a kid, I didn't really know the difference. And it was interesting to me that the creek that ran behind the apartment into which the paper mill discharged its waste was often beautiful pastel colors of pink or blue. Sorry about the lighting. I won't do it here next time. Anyways, that was interesting. Didn't understand about pollution. Certainly do now. Then we moved into a house that ended up being condemned. Again, I didn't know any different. I thought it was a pretty cool place to live. We were right behind the Handy Candy Peanut Brittle Factory, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. It was during that time that I started raising mice as pets, and I was fascinated by putting a male of one color and pattern with a female of another and seeing what the babies would look like when they came out. It was also around this time that I had my first successful marketing campaign. An adult friend of mine had a cat who had kittens, and she had 3 kittens that she needed to get rid of and find homes for before they would end up meeting an untimely demise. And I drew some little signs, and the signs were of a door with the 3 kittens standing on their hind feet at the door, with the one in front by the door poised as if it was knocking on it. And I quite melodramatically wrote underneath that picture, "These 3 kittens are knocking at death's door." Don't open it for them. Give one a home. Now that was pretty schmaltzy, but still I think pretty creative for an 8 or 9 year old. And in fact, all three kittens got homes. One of them came home with me while my dad was away on a business trip. He had forbidden me to have any pets, but by the time he got home, it was too late. I think I'm going to stop here because the next story is a pretty big one. It's how I came to strike out on my own, or at least for myself, and find my own place to live when I was 11. I'll see you there. Thanks for listening.